So today I'm going to be ranking all of the Call of Duty games. Well, technically most of them, because there's actually 52 Call of Duty games. Technically 51, but the reason why there's 52 in particular is because there's like different ports, like the DS port and mobile port of some of the older Call of Duty games, like Call of Duty Strike Team, Call of Duty Online, all that type of stuff. The original Call of Duty Zombies is considered its own game. The original Call of Duty Mobile and all that type of stuff. We're not going to be ranking up all of them, of course, because I've not actually played every single Call of Duty game ever. I doubt most people have. I'm going to be honest. I mean, but they are different. Even though some of the games are called the same name, like a DS port or COD 4 is like completely different to like the console version, or that type of stuff. But I've never played them, and I don't really want to rank them. But yeah, let's get straight into this. So we will be ranking the full package of the game. So this will be the multiplayer, the campaign, and the zombie spec ops, or whatever the frick the third game mode is. So for example, let's say the multiplayer is an S tier multiplayer, but let's say the zombie mode or the spec ops mode is like a D tier or something like that. That is going to lower the rating of the game because I am ranking the full package, not just one game mode. So we're going to be ranking the entire package, not to get confused with that. And that does have an effect overall on the game because I play all aspects of the game. I know some people only play like one aspect of the game and only play like the multiplayer, the zombies, or something like that, but or the campaign. I mean, it's kind of crazy. People still only buy Call of Duty games for the campaign in 2024, but it is what it is. So Call of Duty 1, the original Call of Duty. I'm not going to talk a lot about these original COD games. Just because I'm going to be honest, not a lot of people care about them. But I mean, Call of Duty 1's a very important game. If we didn't have Call of Duty 1, we wouldn't have any other Call of Duty game. So quite important that way. So Call of Duty 1 was when it was a Medal of Honor competitor. It's just like a better version of Medal of Honor because Medal of Honor was like a one-man army type of stuff, World War II game. But Call of Duty, you felt more like in a squad and a group and all that type of stuff. Really fun. Multiplayer's pretty fun as well. Obviously 6 years after this game came out, Call of Duty Classic would come out, which is pretty much just a console, like the console port of this game, practically the exact same game, but just a console version. Sadly, the Call of Duty Classics is kind of dead on console, but you can still find people on PC and that, though. I think you have to download something to play the multiplayer. Had health bars and all that type of stuff. I'm just going to give it a C tier. I'm just going to rank it in the middle. This would be the same if I was doing like a Call of Duty zombie tier list. I'd just probably rank Knack the Tone or Not the Tone, whatever you call it. Probably just rank it in the middle because without that map, we wouldn't have anything else in Call of Duty Zombies. So it's a very important map. The same goes to this. It's a very important game. So I'm just going to rank it straight in the middle. The same goes to Call of Duty Night Defensive. So this was a DLC. The only Call of Duty campaign DLC we ever had for a Call of Duty game. Even though it was its own game. Well, at least it's marketed that on Steam. I don't actually know if you could get the main game with this at the time. I don't know, but I didn't buy this game at launch, so I don't freaking have a clue. But it was a campaign DLC. It was pretty much a campaign DLC, but its own game for Call of Duty 1. I'm just going to rank it the exact same. The exact same. I don't remember if I had a multiplayer. I think it might be a campaign exclusive, and it might not have multiplayer. I don't know. It's been a very long time. Next is Call of Duty Final Front. So this was the first Call of Duty game on console. So this came to PlayStation 2 and the original Xbox. Pretty much, it'll be a bit different to Call of Duty 1. The campaign's a wee bit different. But it's pretty much just a console version of the original Call of Duty games. It was alright. I mean, the online was decent. Not a bad multiplayer count on that. You can still find players on this game. Certain times in the weekend on the PlayStation 2 version through private servers. If you never played this game back in the day and you want to still try and find, still want to play it, or maybe get a community event or something like that. Because the servers are offline, but you can use private DNS to play it online. If anybody ever wants to do this. Next is Call of Duty 2. Call of Duty 2 Big Red One. So this was the PlayStation 2 and the original Xbox port of Call of Duty 2. Didn't have the exact same campaign of Call of Duty 2. It was a bit different. I think it played more like Call of Duty 1 than Call of Duty 2 did. Don't really have a lot to say about this game. Just a worse version of Call of Duty 2, if I'm going to be honest. But I get it, at the time, in 05, a lot of people were still... Technically 05, in fact, 05 for PlayStation 3 wasn't even out, and the Xbox 360 was just a brand new console, so a lot of people were still playing on older hardware at the time, so we're just going to put it in the C tier. Call of Duty 2 Big Red One. Sadly, no one really plays this online anymore, even on private servers. It's completely dead. I know these games are all dead, but you can occasionally find people in some of them. Next is Call of Duty 2. Call of Duty 2, I would say easily the best game of the original trilogy. Just improved so much of Call of Duty 1, like introduced like health regen instead of health bars. type of stuff. Really good campaign. I would say it's an improvement over Call of Duty 1. Pretty fun. Pretty much just improved the Call of Duty 1 in pretty much every aspect. So I'm going to give it the B tier. Honestly, I'm going to give it the B tier because I think it's the best Call of Duty game of the original trilogy. Next is Call of Duty 3. Call of Duty 3 is an interesting one. Probably the worst of the original trilogy for two main reasons. One didn't have a PC port. That you can't play it on PC. I know you could technically nowadays on emulators and all that type of stuff play it on PC, but not when it came out originally. It was you could only play it on a console. Also, fact number two, most of the versions of this game are pretty rough. The best version of Call of Duty 3 is actually the Xbox 360 version. It's the only version of the game that runs at 60 FPS. Yes, the PlayStation 3 version runs at 30 FPS. And obviously the Wii runs at 30, the PlayStation 2 looks really rough, so does the Wii. The original Xbox is probably the best version probably of the last gen version, the 6th generation console version. 7th generation, probably the Xbox 360 version. So if you didn't play Call of Duty and play on an Xbox 360, the frame drops and that were pretty rough, especially really bad in the PlayStation 2 version, in particular in the Wii version. PlayStation 3 version is kind of bugged. The multiplayer is like, I think it's region locked. To be honest, like if you have a PAL version, the servers are like kind of bugged compared to an NSD version, which it seems to actually kind of work on that, which is really, really weird for Call of Duty 3. But Call of Duty 3, it's certainly an interesting game. I'm going to put it in the D tier because I would say it's the worst of the original Call of Duty games. Next is technically the last original Call of Duty game. So this is Call of Duty Road to Victory. This was a PlayStation P exclusive. It might have came out in the DS, to be honest. I didn't do research, if I'm going to be completely honest, but I'm pretty sure it was a PSP version exclusive. Anyway, I played it on the PSP anyway. Roads to Victory, pretty rough game, if I'm going to be completely honest. Not a very good Call of Duty game. It was kind of like the campaign was pretty mid. It looked pretty bad for a PSP game. Like you had some really good looking PSP games like GTA Liberty City Stories, GTA Vice City Stories, God of War Goes to Sparta, God of War Chains of Olympus. Like, look really good for PSP. Then you seen Call of Duty Roads to Victory. It looked pretty rough for a PSP game, to be honest. The PSP was certainly an interesting handheld console. Like some games look really good on it, then some games look awful. And this game just looked pretty rough. But anyway, that's us done with, well, technically we still got this game, but we'll talk about that after Call of Duty 4. So Call of Duty 4 was a massive jump in the series, a massive improvement. I would say Call of Duty 4 was the game that got the mainstream audience into Call of Duty instead of more like a certain fan base, like compared to like the older games did. So let's talk about the campaign real quick. So the campaign got introduced to Captain Price. So granted though, you played the soap in Call of Duty 2, Call of Duty game, and it wasn't really a big character. It was the character you played. It's pretty much the whole story apart from that one mission. Campaign was really good. Obviously, you had Captain Price, Gas, the original Gas, all that type of stuff. You had some iconic missions like all gilded up. The iconic sniper mission. Absolutely amazing campaign. If I was ranking the campaign alone, I'd probably give it an 80. I wouldn't say it's the best of the original trilogy of the original Modern Warfare games campaigns, but I would say I'd probably put it in the middle of the road, to be honest. I would say it has really good missions. Obviously, some of the stuff can be brutal. It's not a terrible campaign on Veteran, but I'm not really going to talk about Veteran because not everybody plays these games on Veteran. But let's talk about the multiplayer. So the multiplayer was a massive improvement over Call of Duty 3. It introduced Creator Class, Besiege, kill streaks, more game modes than ever. Like you had like proper hardcore and all that type of stuff. It wasn't really a big thing in the original COD games. Obviously, you had Search and Destroy, fun game modes like that. It was really competitive. The online, obviously, the M16 was the best gun in the game, but the M16 wasn't as broken as it was compared to the remastered version because of people had obviously slower internet and all that back in the day, and the consoles had more limited internet speed and download speed, upload speed. So it wasn't as bad, and it's still a funner version. I would still just say this is more fun. I'd give the multiplayer probably, I'd say it's for its time. The multiplayer absolutely a freaking S tier. Absolutely amazing. I know I didn't really rank the original COD games, gave them really a marking, but the original COD games, and we're kind of more relying on nostalgia than playing them through a lot, like, because not a lot of people play them online. But overall, I would give Call of Duty 4 an A tier, because as I said, the campaign was amazing, but I think this game's campaign, which we'll talk about it, had a better campaign. But Yeah, Call of Duty 4, absolutely amazing. Next is the original classic Call of Duty game, which was Call of Duty World at War Final Front. So compared to Call of Duty World at War, Call of Duty Final Front was a PlayStation 2 exclusive. It had a 3 hour campaign, maybe 4 hours. Pretty rough, pretty bad. It ran really bad for a PlayStation 2 game. For 2008, it looked pretty bad for a PlayStation 2 game. Like, you had some really good looking PlayStation 2 games like GTA San Andreas. There obviously the PSP ports that originally, PSP GTA games that came to that. God of War 2 looked amazing. Then you had Call of Duty Final Front. What's kind of crazy is they were still releasing PlayStation 2 games quite often, like 2008 and 2009. There were still a decent amount of PlayStation 2 games. Believe it or not, FIFA 14 came out on the PlayStation 2. Yes, a game that was like a lot that came out on the PlayStation 4 had a PlayStation 2 port. I'm not joking, seriously, look that up, that's absolutely crazy. But a 3 hour campaign, really rough. I wouldn't say it's the worst thing ever. It's kind of a meme to play. Honestly, I'm gonna put it at the bottom of D tier. I'm not gonna put it in F because uh, it was just a rough game to play, and to be honest, it's kind of funny. I kind of want to do a play. Maybe one day we'll do a playthrough on the channel of this game, this Call of Duty game, just to see what it's like. Just to see what it's like. The aim assist, I'm pretty sure, was pretty messed up as well. But it was so bad. Like, how could they not have multiplayer of zombies? But it's really crazy because we've seen Call of Duty games like Black Ops 1 on the Wii and Modern Warfare 3 on the Wii, but I wish we got a PlayStation 2 port so Black Ops 1 on that on the because if the Wii could have it, the PlayStation 2 could have it because the PlayStation 2 had like slightly worse specs than the Wii, but it was practically around about the same specs those console had to each other. So I would have loved to see a Black Ops 1 on the PlayStation 2. Imagine playing Kino the Tour on the PlayStation 2 or the online, man. Why did they never get a PlayStation 2 port? Probably because of Sony didn't support it, or maybe because Activision wanted more people to buy the newer gen version. I'm not entirely sure what that was all about, but anyway, Call of Duty World at War. The most brutal World War II Call of Duty game. Obviously, none of the Call of Duty campaigns are historically accurate. I would say this is the closest. Had the Russian front, had the American front, and you fought the Japanese. The American front, which was nice. Because every other World War II Call of Duty game was just set in Europe. That was nice. Sorry, chat. My freaking name. I don't know why I'm saying chat on the live stream. This is a video, but my freaking voice has started to die because I had to record this like 2 or 3 times because I forgot to freaking put a game in the list. I didn't notice until we got halfway through. But anyway, Call of Duty World at War campaign. I would say the campaign's an actual S tier. Obviously, you had that sniping mission on Reznov. Great characters like Reznov. All the zombie crew characters were technically in the campaign, and every I always used to think this as a kid before like Call of Duty Zombie lore and all was that a thing. Because every single Call of Duty Zombie character that you get to know, like Richtofen, actually dies in this campaign, right? Richtofen's that general guy. Tank Densby's that wee private soldier that's with you instead of Sergeant Ruckbach where you get to pick him. I think the Canningen sergeant lives and he dies. I believe that's Canningen. I believe the Japanese guy is the guy that literally dies in the first mission of the campaign. It's the first person to get, well, technically the second person because the American soldier gets killed first, but he's the one to get stabbed in the back by that sergeant guy. And Nikolai had a terrible death in the second last mission in the Downfall. Was it the Downfall? Was it the mission before? Got the name of the mission. This game also introduced a co-op campaign as well. Sadly, the co-op campaign didn't include all the missions. It was only 1 out of 2 Call of Duty games that actually had a co-op campaign. Sadly, it was certainly interesting. It was really sad. It had like cheats and that, which was totally not just a copy and paste of fucking Halo 3 and Halo 2 skull system. The cards want, but hey, it is what it is. Multiplayer was literally like Call of Duty 4. It was just a World War II version of Call of Duty 4. I know these games were kind of balanced and mixed, like player count wise. Overall, I'd probably say maybe it's a little bit worse than Call of Duty 4 because of the MP40. But if you're playing on PC, the MP40 actually got nerfed. So then there's still other usable weapons. These Call of Duty games that had something called stopping power, a perk called stopping power, would literally make it where commitment makes most bad gun. If a gun was pretty bad, stopping power would literally make the gun actually pretty good. So kind of like COD 4 that way, to be honest. Some of the less underwhelming weapons to make them more useful. The dogs were overpowered instead of the tac chopper. The dogs were very broken. The zombies. Let's talk about the zombies. Zombies pretty basic for the time, and I get a lot of Easter egg hungry Call of Duty zombie YouTubers and these people that only like to play COD zombies for freaking Easter eggs and don't like to play COD zombies, I don't know, for like high rounds or just have fun with their friends. I get they don't like Call of Duty zombies, World at War, but it was the original, not the tone, pretty basic. Probably the best, I would say it was the best version of Not the Tone, I'm going to be honest. Rupp, very good map. Shima Numa, a decent map, and Dearis, an absolute iconic map before the kid that was like just yeah, absolutely iconic. I'm gonna put it in S tier. I'm gonna put Call of Duty World at War, and freaking S tier. I absolutely love this fucking Call of Duty game. I can go back and play this Call of Duty game whenever the frick I want. Honestly, I can play it pretty much. Obviously, it's got a little bit of a hacker problem. That's really the only problem. And if you're on PC, oh yeah, talking about the PC versions. Obviously, both these games had custom content, had server browsers, all that type of stuff. Obviously, the original CODs did as well. Custom zombies, the original custom zombies. This was a big thing before, obviously, we had Black Ops 3. Custom zombies that came at like freaking like almost a decade. And it was like what end of 2016. I'm pretty sure custom zombies came to Black Ops 3. So it was like freaking like 8 years before Black Ops 3 custom zombies even existed. Absolutely amazing game. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Oh man, this campaign was iconic. I would say this is the best Modern Warfare campaign we have ever had. Nothing has ever came close to the hypes of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2's campaign, like General Shepard's betrayal. Ghost, I'm going to be honest, Ghost is a little bit of an overrated character because we didn't really know who he is. I mean, especially in the fucking games. My god, man. Freaking Ghost was a one and done character, I think, and I think he was really done really well in that game. Iconic, amazing, absolutely great campaign. Man, I could talk all day about the campaign, like the freaking ending in the rush, stabbing Shepard, the betrayal. Oh my freaking, I could literally talk all day. The multiplayer, not the most balanced multiplayer, if I'm going to be honest, but it literally improved on the multiplayer compared to World at War and Call of Duty 4. It added more kill streaks like the tactical nuke, the EMP, all that type of stuff. The care package, you know, the emergency drop. Your streaks could stack the Harrier. It just introduced a lot of kill streaks. The siege system was kind of the same. It added pro perks. I missed this era of Call of Duty where every Call of Duty added like a big improvement, adding more content than the last. It just got improved. Sadly, that did not last forever. But yeah, even the multiplayer was kind of busted and kind of broken. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 is like Halo 2. It's broken, but it's broken in a fun way. I would say, like, if you don't know, Halo 2 is actually my favorite Halo multiplayer game. So Modern Warfare 2 is really like that, how broken it's like the one-man army and all stuff. Again, it's not fun. I'm not the best at the game, I'm going to be honest, kind of suck at the multiplayer, but I respect it and I like it. Now let's talk about the Spec Ops. The Spec Ops, probably, if I was going to rank the Spec Ops is probably like a C tier, to be completely honest. The multiplayer and the campaigns are probably like S, but the Spec Ops, it's pretty good. It's probably the second best version of Spec Ops. It was pretty fun to play your friend. Obviously, just a worse version of zombies. So I'm going to give it the A tier. Me personally, I know I said, but I'd say the full pack, yeah. Full package, in my opinion, I'd say it's better. Next is Black Ops 1. Jeez, this campaign was freaking amazing, like Modern Warfare 2, but I had a bit more of a story. The main, it was actually the first Call of Duty, the character you would play as would actually talk. I know that's crazy, because in the Modern Warfare games, see the character who talked, they would talk in cutscenes and that, but they would never actually talk in gameplay. Alex Mason actually talked in gameplay, which a lot of people don't bring that up, but that was pretty good. The main menu of the prison, not the prison, being trapped in a torture room and that, oh man, it was something special. Right, you bring back some iconic characters. You had Woods, Alex Mason, even freaking Hudson. To be honest, I don't know. It's like Treyarch could not think of the best version of Hudson. I'm going to be honest. A lot of people don't like Hudson, and I get it. But the best version of Hudson was literally Black Ops 1. I don't know why. There was something really weird with the Hudson voice actor. Like, they changed his voice actor like 3 times. Though, to be honest, I don't actually remember what his voice sounded like in Black Ops 4, so it might have actually been 4 times, but probably the original Black Ops 1 version was probably the best version of the Hudson voice actor. No offense to my Black Ops 2 lovers, but I think the Hudson version actually didn't sound like Hudson, but that's just me. Then you had the Cold War version, sounded a wee bit different as well. Maybe the voice actor just lost something, had a stroke or something, I don't know, I'm not going to comment on it. The multiplayer, absolutely amazing. So you had the This was the first Call of Duty game that introduced party game modes. So you had like gun game, all that type of stuff. Gun game, one in the chamber, sharpshooter, and sticks and stones. You had more funny weapons like the crossbow, the ballistic knife, and all that type of stuff. Technically, Modern Warfare 2 and COD 4 were the first one to introduce gold camo. I get that because Modern Warfare 2 had fall. But Black Ops 1 gold looks absolutely amazing. It had 15 Besieges, calling technically, I forgot to actually bring up calling cards, was technically Modern Warfare 2 introduced calling cards and emblems on it. Not emblems, but you could customize your emblem. Theater mode was introduced. Combat training. So if you didn't like PvP, you could play against bots and level up. Sadly, combat training, you couldn't besiege in it. That's the only really disappointing part of it. It had a besiege mode, I think it would have been even better and had more game modes. But it was good for people that didn't want to play the multiplayer, could have fun against the bots and actually level up and unlock stuff, which was a little bit disappointing that Black Ops 2 didn't have combat training, if I'm going to be honest. The custom games were cool as well. Obviously, custom games weren't that great in Call of Duty games, if I'm going to be honest, until until Black Ops 2, where you could actually have everything unlocked on private matches instead of actually having to play them more. That was a little bit disappointing, but yeah, Black Ops 1 absolutely freaking amazing. Anyway, we wait and talked about the zombies. The zombies was amazing. So let's talk about the most boring map first. Probably Dead Ops Arcade. I mean, it was a niche game mode. All right. I mean, Dead Ops Arcade still exists. We might get Dead Ops Arcade 4 and Black Ops 6. Who knows? Then again, usually Dead Ops Arcade is usually a 2. There's usually 2 after 2 Black Ops games. So we might not get Dead Ops Arcade 4 this year. It might be Black Ops 7. We get Dead Ops Arcade because it seems to be a thing where it skips a game, then it comes in the game after. But anyway, this arcade was obviously kind of average. Kino de Tone, absolutely amazing. Probably one of the most iconic zombie maps ever. I know all the YouTube content creators and all these big Easter egg hunters and that will say Kino de Tone's overrated. Well, they can say what the fuck they want. Honestly, Kino de Tone brought all the casual players into Call of Duty Zombies. And for that, it is, and all the multiplayer guys loved the map as well. It brought multiplayer guys into zombies. That's what Kino the Toting did. Did a lot more than Not the Tone, and I got to praise it for that. I mean, obviously Kino the Tone is, I would probably rate an S tier map these days, but for what it did, 5 a really great map as well. I forgot about the multiplayer. We had Nuketown, all that type of stuff. You obviously had Nuketown, firing range area. The map that Treyarch loves to bring back every single fucking Call of Duty game, WMD, the most overrated freaking Black Ops 1 map ever when it comes to the COD developers. Not a really great map, if I'm going to be completely honest. A very, very overrated map from Treyarch's point of view. I don't think the community love that map as much as freaking Treyarch does. But as I said, the zombies, we're going to talk, obviously I'm not talking a lot about the DLCs, because the problem with ranking the multiplayer DLCs is you kind of have to rely on nostalgia. Like, you can't go back and play the DLCs because no one plays the DLCs, sadly. The older Call of Duty games, DLCs are sadly kind of dead off and kind of dead. Sadly, it is what it is, unfortunately. But anyway, Black Ops 1 DLC zombie season. We got proper Easter eggs, not really like moonshine. I don't want to talk all day, man, but I'm going to rank it S tier as well. Freaking absolutely amazing. Probably my favourite Call of Duty game, I'm going to be honest. Call of Duty Declassified. So this was a PlayStation Vita version of Black Ops 1. A bit of different story. This story actually leaded up to the events of Black Ops 2, believe it or not. I think it came out after Black Ops 1. Not the best Call of Duty game. People actually still play the multiplayer on this Call of Duty version, on this Call of Duty game. It's just the maps are a bit smaller than Black Ops 1. I think there was like half the size of Nuketown in it, and the maps were like half the size of the Black Ops 1 version. It was like a mix of Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2. It was certainly an interesting idea. The campaign was pretty unbalanced and pretty rough, if I'm going to be honest. It's a fun Call of Duty game, and I do recommend you give it a try. You know what? I'm going to be very, very generous. I'm going to listen to what I see. I've been generous. It was an alright game. The campaign was probably like a D. The multiplayer was probably like a B, if I'm going to be honest. So I don't remember if this. I think I had something else to say to zombies, like a Spec Ops mode or something like that for a track game. It was kind of weird. It was alright, not really replayable. So yeah, I would say bottom of C tier. Modern Warfare 3, probably in my opinion, I would say this was the last good Modern Warfare game we've ever had. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 campaign Pretty good campaign. I wouldn't say as good as COD 4 or Modern Warfare 2's campaign. The problem with Modern Warfare 3 in general is it was like a rushed development, like all the Infinity Ward left due to the massive lawsuits after Modern Warfare 2. It actually looks worse than Modern Warfare 2, believe it or not. The original Modern Warfare 3 looks worse than Modern Warfare 2 because they had to use assets from COD 4 because I think they lost some of the assets from Modern Warfare 2. So, yeah, campaign, obviously you had Soap's death, you had Yuri, very good written character, pretty good story. I'd probably rank the story from like I'd probably rank the story maybe like an A, maybe an A minus. I'd probably rate the story. Overall, I would say the campaign was pretty fun, pretty good. Not the best Call of Duty campaign ever, but you know what? Not the worst Call of Duty campaign. So multiplayer. Multiplayer was decent fun, bit of a downgrade over Modern Warfare 2 and COD 4, just because the guns were more balanced. It is considered a lot of people consider Modern Warfare 3 the most balanced Call of Duty game. But the maps were kind of a downgrade. I mean, you had like downtown, a little pretty rough maps. Got some good maps. But they brought back Terrible. But I would say the maps weren't as good as Modern Warfare 2 or Call of Duty 4 if I was going to rank the maps alone. Spec Ops, probably the best version of Spec Ops, to be honest. It did. Oh yeah, I forgot the multiplayer to just besiege tokens. I had decent multi. Actually, Infected, all that was absolutely amazing. The Infected, well, probably the best version of Infected we ever had. I'm going to be honest. Even though Halo had Infection before Call of Duty did, I think Call of Duty did Infected better than Halo. Seriously. I do generally think like I think Modern Warfare I don't know when I obviously no one really plays the Infected game mode anymore, but Modern Warfare 3 Infected to me felt a lot better than Halo Reach's infection. Seriously, I know what this is Call of Duty. Listen, I'm talking about Halo. I don't know why. I don't know why I am, but I mean Halo and Call of Duty were kind of like a competitor back in the day. To be fair, obviously Halo dominated Call of Duty back in probably these games. If it came to PlayStation, it would have absolutely fucking annihilated. To be honest, if Halo was let's enough talking about Halo. Let's talk about modern Call of Duty. So this introduced besiege tokens, all that type of stuff. You'd still lose more of your stuff. You just have to level up your stuff to besiege. It wasn't the perfect besiege system, but it was a lot better than all these other games. These four games in particular. It did have better. You could actually keep stuff unlocked and all that stuff. It had so many game modes. Sadly, a lot of the game modes will get lost over time and they only well with private match. You still had to unlock stuff in custom games and that, so it was a wee bit flawed. Spec Ops, probably the best version of Spec Ops we had. Spec Ops Survival was really, really fun. Had a level up system and an unlock system. Pretty replayable. Didn't have a besiege system, but getting to level 50 was fun. It was an absolute blast. Loved it. And sadly, this Call of Duty game is broken on PlayStation 3 platform in particular, because if you ever changed your username, you can't play the multiplayer at all. Yeah. That's not a problem on Xbox, by the way, or PC, but I would recommend playing it. To be honest, see any Call of Duty game after Black Ops 1, I don't recommend playing it on PC. Unless it's like until you get to like Modern Warfare 2019 or onwards. But Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, I said I could do this for a fucking hour. This tier list, we'll be here all day. I'd give it a B tier. Spec Ops was probably the B. I'd probably give Spec Ops a B. Multiplayer, I'd probably give like a B as well. In the campaign, I'd probably give like an A, a low A. So I think B is perfect. Black Ops 2. Black Ops 2, arguably the best campaign in the entire series. I kind of personally disagree. I think Black Ops 1 had a better campaign, and that's my opinion, of course. Campaign was amazing. You obviously get David Mason, you had the future and the past. All the Black Raul Mendes. Obviously, I forgot to write Makarov. Makarov was really good as well in Modern Warfare 3, but enough. This video's already freaking. We're almost at the half-hour mark, and I'm not even freaking. We've still got a lot of games to do, so I want to speed this up a little bit. So, not multiplayer. Campaign was really fun. Strike team missions. I actually kind of like the strike team missions. A lot of people didn't. The problem is it did have multiple endings, but I think for replaying Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, I should say. See, are you losing my voice? Because I freaking recorded. Had to redo this like 3 times. But anyway, Black Ops 2. Campaign as a strike team missions. Not everybody. I don't think everybody was the biggest fan of them. I actually kind of liked them, but I get a lot of people didn't like them. Multiplayer was absolutely fun. Introduced league play. You actually felt besieging. Actually felt really rewarding because you had permanent unlocks and you didn't lose all your camos and all your challenges and all that type of stuff like previous Call of Duty games, which is also an advantage as well. I mean, you technically could use XP multipliers and the older Call of Duty games to level up faster in besiege, technically. But it was kind of the same with not being besieged, to be completely honest. Besiege challenges and all that type of stuff. It was really fun. Anyway, Black Ops 1 was actually the first one. But anyway, The only real disappointment with Black Ops 2 multiplayer, I would say, obviously, they fixed some of the perks like Ghost and that. You actually had to move around the Ghosts instead of just standing still like Black Ops 1. But the removal of combat training was a little bit disappointing for people that like, for more the PvE type of guys. I didn't, because but you had private matchups against bots and that, but you couldn't let a bot and unlock stuff. The removal of like the original quad point system was a little bit disappointing, but the pick 10 system was absolutely amazing. I'd also rank the multiplayer S. So I'd probably put the campaign in the multiplayer S. But here we get to the zombies. We're gonna talk a wee bit about Black Ops 2 zombies. Black Ops 2 zombies was so rough. People went back to Black Ops 1 zombies when it came out. Yeah. Let's talk about it. So Transit, pretty awful map. I mean, it's so bad, it's probably fun in a way. So it'll probably be like a D tier freaking zombie map, maybe a C tier, just 'cause it's that bad. The survival maps were okay, kind of a worse version of Black Ops 1, if I'm going to be honest. The Black Ops 1 maps. I mean, Town was probably the best out of them. You know, it's crazy. People can, I'm just gonna straight up say this. This is my first controversial take. You're deluded if you think Town's a better map than Kingdom of the Throne. Sorry, you are deluded if you think Town's a better map than Kingdom of the Throne. Fire zombies, exploding. I'll talk about that if I ever decide to make a freaking zombie map list. I'll compare them because I think it was Noah's Year, something like I said Town was a better map than Kingdom of the Throne. Like, I get Kino's overrated, but fucking hell. Town is literally a worse version of Kino. Literally. But anyway, I'm not going to talk about all the zombie maps, as I said. Nuketown Zombies, pretty rough. How the fuck do you fuck up Nuketown Zombies? How do you make Nuketown actually bad? It's freaking crazy. But anyway, Diary is a rough map as well, unless you're that Johnny guy that absolutely loves that map. He thinks it's the best zombie map ever. But if you're not that guy, pretty rough. Mob of the Dead, and absolutely amazing. This is where Call of Duty Black Ops 2 started to get better with the zombie maps like Mob of the Dead. Really good map. Buried was decent. You had Origins. The problem with maps like Origins is it kind of Mob of the Dead is. I think I'm not a casual zombie player. I don't really play COD Zombies these days, but for this kind of got the casual zombie community, I think, to start quitting. So I think that's overall why people would consider Black Ops 1 a better game. So I'm gonna be sad. I'm gonna have to give this the A tier. The reason why I can't give it the S tier is because the zombies launch was so fucking rough. I had a lot of glitches and bugs as well. I played it on the PlayStation 3, but there was a glitch when the game came out, where if people were playing a split screen, it would literally crash your console, and it took like freaking a week or so for that to get fucking fixed. Yeah, I had quite a bad first experience when it came to Black Ops 2 freaking zombies. I mean, I had a fun experience in the campaign and the multiplayer, but I had quite a rough experience in the zombies. I mean, it got better when I got the DLCs and played it later, and I have a massive respect for it. But man, if they did not prove it and they didn't if Jimmy Stilinski didn't start fucking up and they replaced it with Jason Mundell, to be honest, COD Zombies might not even exist to this day, man. No fucking joking. Honestly, even though I love Jimmy and I think he's better than Jason, but overall, but his Black Ops 2 days were rough. Alright, next is Call of Duty Ghosts. Call of Duty Ghosts' campaign, it's alright. I mean, the betrayal at the end, Ghost, America getting invaded by South America, becoming a superpower and invading America is a very interesting plot. I mean, it's completely different from a lot of games that didn't take that type of risk, and I would say it's certainly interesting. But that was the campaign. The multiplayer was really rough, like they removed the UAV. This was probably the first game Infinity Ward. The new Infinity Ward came into power and they started making changes that people didn't like. It was a massive downgrade over to Black Ops 2. It removed so many features. Like, the time to kill was really fast. Well, granted, the time to kill was really fast in the Modern Warfare games, to be completely fair. But it felt even faster in Call of Duty Ghosts. Like, you felt like you died like in one bullet. The multiplayer maps were pretty freaking mediocre. There's one really good multiplayer map, which was it was like that Warzone map or something like that. Map that had a tank in it. That building. It's like I guess it's kind of like the Nuketown version of Call of Duty. It was a really fun map. But I'd love maps like Stonehenge and all that, which I actually don't mind Stonehenge as a map, but it's definitely a map that should be played on ground war, not freaking 6v6. You had this weird survival Spec Ops mode, which was kind of weird. I mean, no one really plays it nowadays, so it was just a worse version of Modern Warfare 3's, I would say, Spec Ops mode. Because you didn't feel you were like, you got as many rewards and that, you didn't really, that type of stuff. Like, each soldier as well had their own classes. So it's the first Call of Duty game that technically introduced personalised soldiers and all that type of stuff. They were making microtransactions slowly worse in this, but it's kind of like Black Ops 2 microtransactions. Most people didn't care, and they weren't in the way. Like some of the future Call of Duty games. Call of Duty Ghost, Extinction. We'll talk about Extinction real quick. The alien mode. The first map was alright. The first DLC map was pretty meh. Then DLC 2 map was really good. Then the third and fourth DLC maps were pretty fucking god awful. If I'm gonna be honest, Call of Duty Ghost. I mean, I think it's a little bit of a. I think it's not as bad as people make it out to be. I think it's not as bad as people make it. I'm going to be generous and going to give it the C tier. Too bad we'll never find out what happens to the end of the cliffhanger, and it had a lot of rough spots, but you know what? It's not the worst thing ever. It's better. It's a lot better than Call of Duty games we get compared to we do nowadays. Call of Duty multiplayer is just so rough nowadays. Like Call of Duty Ghosts multiplayer, pretty bad. Not decent, but not horrible. Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. I've not played Call of Duty Advanced Warfare's campaign in a very long time. I had that Kevin Spacey guy, which is considered very controversial to a lot of people. This Atlas Corporation and all that type of stuff. Said I'm not really ranking the DLC stuff as much. Yeah, that was the campaign. Multiplayer was pretty fun, apart from freaking microtransactions. The microtransactions were really bad, like the rarities. I was one lucky bat. I did not play Advanced Warfare multiplayer a lot. I didn't even get to be Siege 1. That's I got to like level 50 and just stayed there. I got one of the most broken guns in the game, the Steady Steed for the bow. I didn't get to speak easy, but I got it and I didn't even know it was a meta gun. That's how much I played Advanced Warfare's multiplayer during its prime. I didn't really care. I mean, that year, it's like Call of Duty Ghost. That year I was playing more Battlefield, to be honest, than I was Call of Duty for my type of shooter type of game. Obviously, I didn't bring that up, but yeah, I'd rather be playing Battlefield 4 than freaking Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, if I'm going to be completely honest with you. The survival mode was pretty freaking... It was alright. It was pretty rough, pretty unbalanced. It's actually got the same problem as Modern Warfare 2019 survival, where the damage just scales over time. So eventually enemies are just going to start one-shotting you in the highways and shit. You like one-shot, like seriously, you don't even get one-shot in fucking veteran in the campaign. So real unbalanced. Let's talk about the zombies real quick. The zombies was fucking DLC for probably about 90% of the population that even play the fucking zombies. Because they didn't bring any of the zombie maps. They made them DLC. I think that was the biggest mistake ever. I think they should have made the first zombie map, like maybe after it was out for a few months. They probably should have just gave it for free to everyone instead of freaking making it a DLC only map. Because no one's going to play it because of that. I mean, I never look at the zombies because I'm not buying the DLCs. Advanced Warfare, I'm going to be straight up honest, man. Pretty fucking rough. But you know what? I'm gonna be generous. No, in fact, no, I'm not gonna be generous. I'll give it I'll give it the top of D. It was fun. It did improve from Call of Duty Ghosts in some aspects, but overall, I would say it's probably a rougher game than Call of Duty Ghosts because of the fucking microtransactions. Microtransactions were really, 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 really bad for this game. Unfortunately, it was just really disappointing. And it was Black Ops 3. All right, let's talk about the campaign first. Black Ops. I love Black Ops 3, but the fucking Black Ops 3 campaign is rough. It did have some funny lines like train go boom, and the guy, that brutal scene where the guy gets his arms and that cut off and a frozen forest and all that. I mean, it's kind of a meme, to be honest. If I was rating the campaign alone, I'd probably give the campaign like a D. It's kind of like Transit that way, where it's that bad, it's kind of good in a way. I mean, then you had the night mode as well, but it's like zombies in the campaign. I mean, that was a good idea. I think that was a good idea, but it was just done horribly. You know, maybe I should do that. If I play the Black Ops 3 campaign, maybe one day down the line, I'll fucking do a playthrough of fucking Nightmare just to show how rough it is and how no fucking sense. Dead Ups Arcade 3, pretty nice. Free run, an underappreciated mode. Really cool. Sadly, they never expanded on it in the DLC season. Pretty disappointing, if I'm going to be honest. The multiplayer was absolutely amazing. It was practically the same as Black Ops 2 multiplayer, but with exosuits. The jumping mechanics were done really, 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 really well. Thinking about Advanced Warfare, you know, I'm going to remove Advanced Warfare up to the C. I'll move it right behind Call of Duty Ghosts because I actually thought the jumping in that actually wasn't too bad in Advanced Warfare. Thinking about it, Black Ops 3 was obviously did the exosuits and all that better than Advanced Warfare. It was a bit more balanced, a bit more fair, of course. Yeah. That was the multiplayer. The only problem with the multiplayer was like the microtransactions, the DLC went. So sadly, if I was just ranking the multiplayer alone, I would move it down from an S to A just because of the microtransactions that time. But the freaking zombies, was freaking amazing. I think this is the peak of Call of Duty Zombies. You had great maps. I know a lot of people didn't like Shadows V at launch, but you had the Giant for the more casual community. Over time, people started to love Shadows V. We had great DLCs like Derice. Not Derice, Deisendrach. I don't know why I said Derice. That's fucking World at War. The Eisendrach, I thought I bright about the World at War, the freaking Black Ops 1 World at War maps. they're kind of an improvement, to be honest. I forgot to mention that about those maps. But anyway, we're done Black Ops freaking 1 anyway. This video is about to be a fucking hour long anyway, this freaking rate. Black Ops 3, Zombies absolutely amazing. I could talk here all day. Overall, I'd probably give I'm gonna say it. Even though the campaign was disappointing, the Zombies was an S tier, and I'd say the multiplayer was an S tier. So I hate to put it here, but I can't be completely biased. I know I've been biased with others, but I don't like to put it here, but I've got to because of the microtransactions. I absolutely love Black Ops 3, but I've got to be realistic. I've got to be realistic. That campaign affects the score, man. The campaign affects the store. I would put it in A tier, but the campaign. I mean, I know the campaign's not really played, but to be honest, you know what? No. You can play the campaign in co-op. You know what? Since you can play the campaign in co-op, and have a blast with your friends and not really worry about concentrating the story that much, and it's all over the place, to be honest, I'm going to be generous. I'm going to put it in A tier. Now, but I'm going to put it at the bottom of A. Even though I personally prefer Black Ops 3 over these games, I'm not. I don't want to be completely biased. Infinite Warfare, pretty good campaign, but I'm going to be completely honest. The campaign is overrated in Infinite Warfare. Like, especially if you do all like the side missions and that stuff that are really generic. You just break into stuff. You do that. Squad members die. I didn't really have an emotion to robots. I don't know. I find it really, 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 really hard to get emotional for AI. To be honest, it's like Mass Effect. Like Mass Effect, I get Mass Effect that Edie wasn't a companion. She was a companion, but you couldn't romance her. I don't know, man. Maybe robots are cooler if you could robot. I'm not into that type of stuff, to be honest. I don't know why the fuck I'm bringing that up. I don't know, man. Robots are cool, but I don't know, man. I didn't really get really emotional compared to Edie's death, compared to not Edie's death, the freaking robot. See, I forgot his fucking name. Death. The campaign didn't really make a lot of sense. Like, some faction in Mars wanted to conquer Earth. Like, what? They wanted to. So, a part of civilization left on Mars and wanted to destroy Earth. That just doesn't make any fucking sense to me. That does not make any sense to me at all. Earth is humans' home. Why would you want to destroy your own fucking planet you live in? I find that I'm really confused. I don't understand it. The main villain was kind of lame and kind of disappointing, if I'm going to be completely honest with you, in the campaign. Overall, the campaign's probably like a B. It's really, really, really overrated, Infinite Warfare's campaign. I think it's extremely overrated. I know some people probably criticise me for that. The multiplayer was alright. It's kind of like Ghost in Advanced Warfare multiplayer. And it was just a worse version of Black Ops 3 multiplayer. It didn't have really iconic maps. You had Terrible, which is probably the best maps. I had that small street map. Not a street map, that map is like a space station that's all white. That I can't remember the name of it, honestly. I fucking forgot the name of it. Pretty decent multiplayer map. The areas in that were pretty good. They weren't pretty unbalanced. Score streaks had I forgot to mention that in Black Ops 2, the fucking score streak system, but yeah, we're past it anyway. I'm going on for freaking long enough anyway. If I talk about everything and feel bad, because this fucking video will be like 2 hours long. Seriously, it's already freaking 42 minutes. Infinite Warfare, the Zombies was really good. The Zombies probably started off really good. Like, yeah, the Zombies in Spaceland, Raven and Redwoods, really good maps. Then it just got worse and worse and worse and worse and worse until the final DLC. This is going to shock people. This is going to shock a lot of people. But I'm going to put it in, B tier. B tier. Yeah. I think the multiplayer, I'd probably give the multiplayer like a C tier. I'd probably give the Zombies probably like a B, maybe a minus B, and I'd probably give the campaign like a B. So I'm going to be generous. I'm going to put it in B. I know that's pretty high for Infinite Warfare. I didn't hate it. I actually did play the game during the life cycle. Modern Warfare Remastered, honestly. Call of Duty 4 Remastered. Pretty much had the full package Call of Duty 4. Microtransactions that they made, you still had to buy the DLC. It wasn't free for some fucking weird reason. Honestly, just a worse version of Call of Duty 4. Just a worse version of Call of Duty 4. I'm just ranking these really quick because it's literally just a remaster of Call of Duty 4. That's all it is. It's just a remaster of Call of Duty 4. But with microtransactions and some of the new weapons were powered, and because of the higher internet speed and the higher ping and the higher server ratings and all that type of stuff, the M16 was even more broken. I did like the Summerfest event and all that. They introduced that. It was really fun. Like, they added more content. Still though, they should have made the DLC free for this game, man. Really disappointing. Considering the fact the DLC was freaking free on the PC version as well, the original God 4. Oh yeah, custom zombies as well. Actually, custom zombies. I completely forgot about that in Black Ops 3. You know what? Yeah, custom zombies, man. I'm sorry, you can clearly tell I'm Twilight bias. Yeah, I forgot to mention custom zombies. Yeah, HBR because of that. Call of Duty World War Two. I'm going to be honest, I did not mind World War Two's multiplayer when it first came out. A lot of people did not like it until they did the change 6 months later. I didn't mind it. I didn't mind it at the time because it still played like mostly like a Call of Duty game. I thought the war mode was interesting. To be honest, the war mode was a great XP fucking exploit when it first came out because you could just keep destroying the barrier and repair it over and over and over again for infinite XP. Yeah, that was a thing at launch. Then it was like Triple XP Weekend and Double XP. You know, it was really funny at launch. That was probably the worst thing they did called World War Two. Like when the game first came, Double XP was apparently active, and everybody got used to it. Then it ended, and it felt like it takes fucking years to level up. But it's really cool about World War Two is the permanent double XP they've done years later. When the game came old, they just added permanent double XP. Kind of like Call of Duty 4 for PlayStation 3. Yeah, Call of Duty 4 on PlayStation 3 has double XP, but no other platforms. So really fucking... Probably PC, it's probably double XP servers, but... Apart from that, no. But as I said, World War Two, really fun game in its own way. Let's talk about the campaign real quick. Campaign was pretty rough. It was only an American front campaign, and the Eastern and the Western front. That was it. I mean, the ending was pretty rough with your friend getting captured by the Nazis. All that type of stuff. To be honest, I think the campaign was actually quite fucking disappointing for World War Two, man. Like doing a World War Two campaign, but only in the American front. You know, the reason why I'm calling it the American front, I know it's set in the Western. There was like didn't do the Canadians, didn't do the British, did one mission to the French resistance fighters. The Nazis kind of felt incompetent in this game, and the Nazis. There were some smart ones in the real world, by the way, compared to what video games make them out to be. Overall, I would say let's talk about the multiplayer real quick. So the multiplayer, I didn't mind the multiplayer. I'd probably give the multiplayer like a B nowadays. I actually don't mind the multiplayer. Probably a C when it first came out. It did improve for the change. The biggest problem with multiplayer is obviously the microtransactions, all that type of stuff. The same as every other Call of Duty game during this era. But the big problem was, I think this was personally a problem in the game. A lot of people won't consider this a problem. Why were all the skins only given to the American team on the multiplayer? Why did the German team, why did the Nazi team get no outfits? Like, why did they just get the default outfits at launch? Like, God, man, it's so stupid. Like, were we too scared? Were we too scared, man, to give them? Man, I mean, if you get offended because the game is selling SS skins, I'm sorry. You probably shouldn't be you probably shouldn't be on the internet. I'm sorry. But they could have done stuff. They could have done stuff. I know it would have been controversial, but fuck, who cares? Call of Duty used to be controversial. That's what made it so popular back in the day. But anyway, Zombies was pretty rough. The first map was okay, but it got worse. Worse and worse and worse and worse. So I'm going to give it a D tier. Is it better than Call of Duty? Yeah, I'd probably put it at the bottom of D. Very rough. The multiplayer is alright and it's aged okay. You know what? You know what? You know what? I'm going to be generous. I'll give it C. I'll give it C. But I'd probably rather play Call of Duty 1 over World War 2. No, you know what? I'll give it C. I'll give it C. I was thinking D, but you know what? I'll probably give it C because the multiplayer is actually alright. Like, I'd probably rate the zombies in the campaign like a C if I was no a D, I mean, if I was ranking them alone. But the multiplayer overall improved and got to a B, so I'd rank it a C. Probably rank it at the bottom though. I'd probably say Advanced Warfare. You know what? I think I'd prefer World War 2 over Advanced Warfare. So, yeah. Call of Duty Black Ops 4. No campaign, so we'll talk about the Battle Royale mode. Blackout was a decent Battle Royale mode. A lot of people didn't like it. I didn't mind it. I still like Battle Royale games at the time. Like, so I like Battle Royale games from like 2017 to about 2020. Then I got sick of Battle Royales and I've just stopped playing Battle Royales completely. Honestly, I'll play them like maybe once in a blue moon after that. But I didn't mind it. Played more like a traditional Battle Royale, like maybe like the older versions of Fortnite Battle Royale. It played like H1Z1 or Budgie, more like the older versions of the games and that. And it was fun in its own way. Yeah, I'd probably rate the Blackout. I'd probably rate Blackout like a B or a C. Probably a C. I'm gonna be generous if I'm gonna be honest. Multiplayer. A lot of people don't like the multiplayer because of the heal and the sting system. I didn't mind it. A lot of people hated it. Actually, did like. One of the few Call of Duty games I actually got to be Siege Master in. I didn't get to level 1000. It's not like Black Ops 3, where I didn't get to. Well, I did get to level 1000 in the zombies. I didn't actually mind the zombies like a lot of people did. Pretty much just a worse version of Black Ops 3's multiplayer. Like, I'd probably give it a B tier in the multiplayer, ranking the multiplayer alone. Yeah, because obviously the microtransactions of that type, so I'd probably give it a B. Zombies was alright at launch. I mean, I didn't mind it at launch, even though it was a broken fucking mess. I didn't do Easter egg hunts, so I didn't really experience the game breaking bugs. I got very, 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 very lucky with Black Ops 4 Zombies. I remember when it came out, a lot of people were getting crashing issues and problems. I don't know if it's maybe because I had a PlayStation 4 Pro and everyone else I knew still had a PlayStation 4. Maybe the PlayStation 4 Pro was less likely to crash or something like that. This was also the last Call of Duty game that had PlayStation exclusivity for a week. I forgot to bring up exclusivity, but nowadays exclusivity doesn't really matter. So, yeah. The zombies, I'd probably rate to. I mean, I didn't mind Blood of the Dead. I thought Blood of the Dead was an alright map. 9 was alright. 9's very overrated, to be honest. I think the biggest problem with Black Ops 4, like World War 2 and that and onwards, was fucking boss spam. I hate boss spam and zombies, like the health cap as well. Spam boss. I would rather have harder zombies but less fucking bosses, if you know what I mean. I don't like buying stuff like the Panzer showing like every few rounds, or like the Megaton and Cold War and stuff like that. But fucking hell, man. Give me a fucking break, man. The amount of freaking boss spam, man. Pretty rough. The DLC maps were pretty bad. The first map was absolutely awful. Night of the Dead didn't get advertised. I played it like once or twice. I didn't think was it even called Night of the Dead. I don't remember the fucking name. I never understood. I never understood how the fuck you played that map properly. It was really confusing. You freaking it takes like an hour to set up or 2 hours to set up, man. You have to look up online because there's so much shit you need to do. It's fucking awful map. The second DLC map, Ancient Evil, was pretty fun. Alpha Mega pretty rough, and the last map I played like once. The Call of the Dead remake. Pretty fucking rough. So honestly, I'm gonna give it a B. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a B. Is it better than Modern Warfare 3? No. Is it better than Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 Remastered? No. Is it better than Infinite Warfare? I'd say it's a full package, probably yes. I would say yes. Call of Duty Mobile. I've not played Call of Duty Mobile in a very long time. I played it when it first came out. I played like a couple of matches of it. Did really, really, really well. I played it on PC, by the way. I didn't play it on mobile. Pretty fun. A lot of microtransactions. It's obviously a phone game. I have a fucking microtransaction. I would say it's really, really fun. Really good in its own way. And honestly, I'm going to give it an A tier. I'm going to give it an A tier. I had too many microtransactions. The zombies was alright. I didn't really play it a lot, if I'm going to be completely honest. COD Mobile, I'm not really a mobile gamer, if I'm going to be completely. That's why I didn't like. That's why I didn't put all the other fucking mobile Call of Duty games here, or Call of Duty Online. Call of Duty Online was a Chinese exclusive. It got shut down a few years ago. And Modern Warfare 2019. Modern Warfare 2019. See, when people rank Modern Warfare 2019, I think they're ranking Warzone, because Modern Warfare 2019 is such a fucking overrated Call of Duty game. It's the best of the new Modern Warfare games. I agree with that statement. But it's rough. Campaign was actually pretty decent. I'd probably give the campaign like a B. It just brought back Captain Rice. Had some rough missions like the big attacks and that. Granted, some of it was historical and accurate. I know none of the Call of Duty games are historically accurate, but they like blamed the Russians for the Highway of Death, even though that was a fucking American thing in real life. Pretty hypocritical. Why the quite hypocritical American company doesn't like to fucking blame the Americans for things. It's what it is. I'm not going to talk about it, but really decent campaign. Probably the best. I would say it's the best campaign of the new trilogy. Decent. Multiplayer was pretty fucking rough. Everybody would just camp all day. The multiplayer maps were fucking rough. All everyone did was played fucking shoot house and shipment, and that was it. Maybe that ground war mode, which is literally just a copy and paste of fucking Battlefield. Honestly, Call of Duty, I did not like that about Modern Warfare 2019. Honestly, these big, massive modes, I know people like them in Call of Duty. Fuck me, if I want to play that, I'm going to play freaking Battlefield, man. Battlefield does it 10 times better than Call of Duty, like Conquest and all that shit. God, man, I would have played freaking 2042 at launch than freaking the big battle modes in Call of Duty. I'm sorry, I know that's going to be a controversial opinion, but honestly, rough. Awful maps. So that's all everybody played. I had one good map like Shoot House and Shipment. That's all people would play. Piccadilly, Ashdev Cave. Awful maps. Awful maps. Everyone just camp. Footsteps, super loud. All that type of stuff. Spec Ops as well. Fucking hell. Spec Ops was crap. The survival one was okay, but the missions were pretty awful. Just get spammed by thousands and thousands of enemies. really, really, really rough. Really rough. It was the first Call of Duty game that introduced engagement, optimization, matchmaking. So if you did good, it would always put you against people on the same skill level as you and shit like that, man. It was a fucking rough Call of Duty game. And honestly, it is super, super overrated. A super overrated Call of Duty game. Honestly, when people rank Modern Warfare 2019, they fucking rank Warzone parts of it. If you don't rank Warzone part of Modern Warfare 2019, it is not a good Call of Duty game. It sold too much. Shouldn't have sold. The reason it sold much, the reason it sold so much was because of fucking Warzone. And we still do not have official numbers of the last 5 Call of Duty games. So I do not give a shit what the fuck Activision say. By the way, I'm not monetized, so I can swear a one. But anyway, man, they don't show sale numbers, and they claim the game sells massive and a massive sale. Well, if you ain't gonna sell charts, how's anybody gonna believe you? You lying scummy company. Sorry, this game is so fucking overrated as shit. Honestly. But, you know what? It's not the worst COD ever. It's not the worst Call of Duty ever. It's not the worst ever. So the multiplayer is probably like fucking... Honestly, if you ain't playing Shoot House or you ain't playing Shipment, the multiplayer is probably a fucking D. Honestly. You're playing Shoot House and Shipment, the multiplayer is probably like a C. I mean, it's not as bad in Modern Warfare 2. I'll admit that in the Modern Warfare 2 when we get to that game. It's like, what? Campaign was probably like a B. So campaign B, probably multiplayer C. Spec Ops was fucking a D. You know what? I'll put it. You know what? I'd probably have to play the. You know, I'm gonna put it at the bottom of C. Putting it at the bottom of C. Putting it at the bottom of C. It's a very rough game. Warzone fucking saved this game's fucking ass. Honestly, there's even charts. There's stuff showing that this game was dying off, and Warzone saved this game. If Warzone did not come out, we might not be getting the Call of Duty these days. Probably not. We'd probably still be getting the Call of Duty, but I mean, they'd probably be getting outsold. Call of Duty Warzone. This game. Alright, Call of Duty Warzone. I played it for a week when it first came out, and I played it again. It was cool. I had expansions, adding more maps. Really, 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 really fun. You know what? I'm going to be generous. I didn't really play it a lot. I'm going to put it in the A tier. I'm going to put it at the bottom of the A tier. I didn't really have a lot to say Warzone. I got sick of Battle Royales by the time 2020 came out. When I got sick of Fortnite, I stopped playing fucking Battle Royale games in general. I just don't get the appeal of Battle Royale games, but I'm going to be generous and I'm going to put it in the A tier because a lot of people really like Warzone. And Warzone did arguably save Call of Duty, so I'm going to be generous and put it here. Modern Warfare 2 Remastered, Modern Warfare 2, but only had a campaign. Campaign Remastered, it was only the campaign. Had I know there's a mod you can technically play the fucking Spec Ops. There's some kind of mod you can enable the Spec Ops, but didn't have the multiplayer. Had nothing like that. Only had the campaign, and that was fucking it. This was I'm pretty sure this was meant to come out like 2018, but got like delayed to 2020. It was emergency. Too bad we never got a Modern Warfare 3 remaster. I'd love to see a Modern Warfare 3 freaking campaign remaster. Just because Modern Warfare 3 kind of looks more like COD 4 than the original Modern Warfare 2. It looks a bit worse, but I brought that up anyway. But anyway, honestly, it only has a campaign. I mean, honestly, it only has a campaign. What am I going to say? What am I going to say for a game? You know what? I'll be generous. I'll fucking put it at the bottom of freaking B. I'll be generous. Because the campaign is an S tier campaign, but no other modes, nothing else to do apart from like a 4 hour campaign, and that's it. And maybe it's a random mode you can go and shoot in the museum, and that's a pretty good remaster. Just had fucking nothing in it. So how am I meant to rate that? Yeah, I would have loved to see this have a multiplayer rather than this copying all the maps from this game. But we'll talk about that when we get to that game. Call of Duty Cold War, Black Ops Cold War campaign was pretty decent. This is where the Call of Duty campaign started becoming woke. I would say, like, they added like a non-binary option as the character Bell and shit like that, and I'm like, oh fuck it, oh man, it wasn't too bad in Cold War, to be honest. That was really the only complaint when it comes to like the game being woke. We'll talk about fucking wokeness when we get to that fucking game. But anyway, yeah, the campaign was pretty decent. I mean, probably the best COD camp. Honestly, probably the best Call of Duty campaign we had since Call of Duty. Yeah, I'd probably say it's the best Call of Duty campaign we've probably had since Black Ops 2, I would say. Yeah, I'd probably say that. The decisions and ending. I like the Evo ending where you kill the characters and that. I am not a Park sub, so I don't. getting emotional to that type of stuff. I don't really care about that type of stuff. Unlike some people. Yeah, introduced. It was like operators as well, like Modern Warfare 2019. Factions, at least it still had factions, unlike fucking Vanguard when we talk about that game. Multiplayer was alright. Had the same plot. It was played more like a classic. Multiplayer was nice. Still pretty rough. Had engagement optimization, matchmaking. It just ruined it and all that type of shit. It was really, 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 really pretty average, to be honest. It was pretty average. I mean, it had better maps. Obviously, brought back some of the classic maps like Nuketown and all that, and Fire Range and all that. Some of the fun maps, kind of like Black Ops 4 definitely. Didn't really have amazing new maps. The new maps were all right. Kind of more bringing back old maps. The multiplayer, as I said, probably all right. I mean, I think it's better Modern Warfare 2019 because it had stuff like Dead Silence at least. The score street, no, the score street system fucking sucked ass. Let's talk about the zombies real quick. Zombies probably middle of the road. Zombies probably give it a C tier. The zombies. We had some really good maps and zombies, like the first map, D Machine, pretty fun map. Firebase C was it wasn't a great map, if I'm going to be honest. Outbreak, God man, open world and zombies, please don't bring that back for zombies, please. I do not like Outbreak. I mean, I'd be generous, I'd probably give Outbreak like a D. I was ranking only Outbreak. Then you had the third map, which was pretty decent. Didn't really play a lot in the fourth map. About like what you know, what's so funny. See the final map for Cold War. I've only ever played it once, and we did the Easter egg the first time we played it. It was too easy. That was kind of the problem with Black Ops Cold War zombies as well. So probably the campaign. I'd probably rate the campaign probably like an A. Honestly, I'd probably give it. I'd probably. I'd probably put it here. I'm one of the few people that personally prefer Black Ops 4 over Cold War. Seriously, I'm one of the few people on this planet that prefers Black Ops 4 over Cold War. I know a lot of people prefer Cold War over Black Ops 4, and I get that, and I can understand that, because the campaign in Black Ops 4 didn't have a campaign, but I prefer Black Ops 4 slightly over Cold War. I'm going to be honest, I think it's the worst start game. I'm going to be completely honest. Call of Duty Vanguard, or we like to call it Call of Duty Woke Guard, or Call of Duty Trash Guard. But you know what? I'm going to call it Call of Duty Woke. The fucking campaign is... So originally the leaks for this game was the game was going to be set in like the 1950s, like if the Nazis won World War II. That's what the leaks were saying before this game came out, like a year before the game came out. I said, okay, for a World War II game that the Nazis won, that could be cool. I mean, the Wolfenstein games were really cool. I'd love to see a Wolfenstein, or like a game like the Wolfenstein games, but had a fun motive, like in a Call of Duty style. I'd love to see a World War II game like that. I mean, I like stuff like that. I mean, I like the Man in the High Castle TV show. I really enjoyed that. I don't know why. I've got an evil side. I mean, it's just an interesting, always an interesting world. It's always imagining a world where the Germany won. You know, World War Two. That would have been interesting. But instead, it was a game that had operators in the campaign. You'd play as different perspectives. Like you play as an Australian guy, you had an Australian camp guy in the freaking African Corps. You had a Soviet woman. Which is alright. That was a thing in Russia, to be fair, so I'm not going to criticize that. And you had I forgot the other characters. You had some black. You had a black British guy, which was a thing at the time, but back then that was super, super, super rare. I mean, you're talking like maybe like. No, not to be stereotypical here, but you're talking like maybe 1 out of 100,000 people were probably black at the time in the UK in the 1940s. I'm just maybe 1 out of 10,000, maybe 1 out of 10,000. So it didn't really make a lot of sense. But you know what? I'm not gonna criticize the game by that. But like the Nazis, why like this guy Hitler dies in this fourth fight. The campaign was really fucking rough. It was like this operative team and like, let's kill some Nazis. The lining were really bad. The team getting captured. This Vanguard operation working together and that. It was just really, really, really poorly done. At least the campaign's worse, I guess. I'm not going to give it praise for that. But yeah, the campaign was really fucking rough in Vanguard. Let's talk about the multiplayer. The multiplayer probably the best feature of the game. But to be honest, I did not play Vanguard during its life cycle. I played the fucking beta. That was it. I played the first beta, then I played the second beta. This game's fucking trash. And I didn't buy the game. I did not buy the game, and the guy did not buy the game because it fucking sucked ass. Multiplayer fucking pretty bad. I mean, probably slightly better Modern Warfare 2019. It had at least 16 maps at launch, and it was the first Call of Duty game we had in a very long time that had a lot of maps. Very buggy, a lot of glitch. I think this game was made in like a year or something like that. It was really, really rough. Really bad. The zombies, we don't even need to talk about the zombies. The zombies started at an F. maybe you can make the argument and say, well, the zombie maps later on maybe move the game to an E tier. Okay, I could agree with that. Maybe the zombie maps, when they started doing plot maps like the Shima Numa remake and all that type of stuff, maybe. Honestly, fucking Vanguard is absolutely awful, man. Freaking wokeness, identity politics, all that type of stuff in the campaign, man. Get that fucking shit out of Call of Duty. Alright, Modern Warfare 2. The new one. Oh god, Modern Warfare 2 is a freaking rough one. Alright. Campaign was pretty rough, to be honest. The campaign was probably like a C or a D. Not very interesting. People simp for a certain character in the fucking campaign. It's like, why are we simping for fucking Call of Duty campaign characters now? Jeez, man, this is how I remember when the Call of Duty community, I remember it used to be, sure, it used to be like a 10-year-old kids playing that in the day, but how many kids that played during the original Modern Warfare 2 still play Call of Duty to this day? Probably not a lot. Probably not a lot. To be honest, I mean, if you were a sim in fucking 2009, man, fucking everybody would be making fun of you. You would be fucking ruthlessly insulted in chat. Oh man, but it was pretty rough. Somehow the guy that survives, the entire freaking village gets shot up. This American Special Force. You can't remember the fucking name. That's how uninteresting. Probably like a D tier campaign. It's better than Modern Warfare 3's campaign. That's the one praise I'll get. Pretty rough. Modern Warfare 2's multiplayer. Literally just Modern Warfare 2019, but worse. More campy. More standing still. Louder footsteps in Modern Warfare 2019. More campy. It would get even worse. The scoreboard would never really end. EMOM was even worse as well. Honestly, worse. Spec Ops was pretty awful as well. Raids was actually not too bad, but you play it like one time, you never play it again. So, can I rate a game mode you play fucking once, you never play it good? Can I just consider that good? No, consider that a bit average, to be honest. So that's probably the only good part of the game. Fucking day raids, honestly, and that was something you play once and never play fucking again. The game was absolutely awful, absolute dog shit. God, man, awful. Warzone 2, literally Warzone 1, but they removed all the good features of Warzone 1. Rest in peace, Warzone 1. This, really, they made all the good features, all the improvements. Oh, Warzone 1, literally, Warzone 2, fucking removed all of them. Honestly, got not a lot to say about Warzone 2, honestly. I'll give it the top of DT. Oh yeah, DMCA was okay. But the rest of the game fucking sucked. And I mean, first impressions matter. If you don't, most people probably start with the multiplayer when they first play the game, and maybe like the Spec Ops or the campaign or something, like that, and they don't like that. Okay. Modern Warfare 3, alright, start the Modern Warfare 3 campaign. F. Multiplayer, probably the best multiplayer of the new Modern Warfare games. I would say it's better than Modern Warfare 2019 multiplayer. Even though I've not played it, I would probably say it's better than Modern Warfare 2019 multiplayer because it brought back like dead silence. You could actually move around and not get punished. You actually felt like you could play the game, but the campaign was absolutely awful. Honestly, the multiplayer for this game is probably like not like a B, maybe a C. Probably like a B to a C. Pretty fucking rough, pretty bad. The zombies was alright. The zombies is probably like a C. Honestly, this is gonna shock some people. I'm gonna rate Modern Warfare 3. So even though Modern Warfare 2019 on paper is a better game, Modern Warfare 3 I would say overall is a better game. And I've not played these new Call of Duty. I don't even buy these new Call of Duty games. I just watch them online. I know you might be like, well, how are you ranking games you don't actually play and you just watch on YouTube and stuff like that? Why the fuck would I buy a shit game? Why the fuck would I buy a company that just wants to screw up your money? Also, a lot of controversy started with this game in Vanguard where they make like AI skins and that now on it. You know what? Fuck that. Yeah, AI skins and shit like that. Oh man. And this freaking pride. Oh, you know what? No man. No man. No. This freaking. You know what? No. You know what? I'll be generous. No. You know what? Modern Warfare 2019 is actually a better game than Modern Warfare 3. But at least Modern Warfare 2019 wasn't fucking woke. Honestly, everything woke turns to shit. The reason why I don't say go woke, go broke is because Call of Duty ain't that woke yet. I mean, if it gets that bad, maybe I'll die. I don't want to talk about politics. I know I'm not a politics channel, but honestly, see when you force freaking wokeness and freaking identity politics down people's fucking throats, normal people are going to start talking about Warzone 3. Honestly, an improvement over Warzone 2. Not got a lot to say about it. Give it a B. Give it a B. You know, no, I'll give it a C. I'll give it the top of C. There you go. Warzone Mobile, fucking broken freaking mess. A broken mess. Oh, broken mess. Very bad on Samsung devices and Android devices. Pretty bad on iOS as well. Cause your phone to freaking overheat and shit like that. Really unoptimized. Terrible mobile port. Absolutely awful. But you know what? At least it's only got Warzone. It's got nothing else. A massive disappointment to Call of Duty Mobile. Call of Duty Mobile was actually made with some passion, and people actually cared about it. But until this identity politics stuff and all that type of stuff, they just don't know how the fuck to make Call of Duty. I'm sorry, man. I don't like. I mean, I'm not a political channel, but stuff like this forces me to say shit like this. And I'd rather say this stuff now. So if I ever get popular on this platform, if I ever do get popular on YouTube, I don't get fucking. I mean, I'm gonna get cancelled regardless. I'm gonna get cancelled regardless one day. You know, I'm actually kind of looking forward to getting cancelled. But yeah, that's me ranking all the Call of Duty games. Obviously not every single one, but majority of them. That's what I generally think of the Call of Duty game. But anyway, yeah, got nothing else to say. Of course, I'll upload this to Rumble and Odyssey as well as YouTube and all that type of stuff. But anyway, yeah, let me know what your list is. Let me know if you completely disagree. I reckon a lot of people are probably going to disagree with this list, if I'm going to be completely honest. I probably should have brought that up at the start and not at the end, just because I didn't put Black Ops 2 in S tier. I know that's going to probably trigger a lot of fucking people. But hey, it is what it is. But anyway, I've got nothing else to say, so I'll see you all next time. Peace out, and yeah.